Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where this is currently a couple of minutes after I recorded the last episode, so I'm still rocking the fever, but I'm doing this specifically so that if I have a day where I can't record, you guys will still get content. So that'll be absolutely great in theory. We need to head out over this direction and get our S6 truss set up. So let's get rotated over this direction. And let's nose up a little bit here. We need to get this docked in out over here. This shouldn't be a particularly complicated setup here. Let's just position about here. Let's put this on kill rot. That would absolutely help. And that's going the wrong direction. We want to go out over this way. There we go. So we just want to get closer right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to head in somewhere around here or so. So let's go. That's about 2 meters per second, and I'm going to switch over to RCS at this point. And let's just move this into a forward vector here. Okay, this is not moving a lot, and the reason for that, of course, is because it's about 2.5 meters per second. That is a lot of speed, and, well, a lot of speed for RCS to deal with anyway. We're going to bring that down to around 2 meters per second or so. There we go. And let's warp forward a little bit here. I'm a little concerned about our tail here, but I think we'll be okay. I don't think we'll have any major issues there. Let's open up our cargo bay. Of course, we're not quite ready to deploy this yet, but I want to make sure that this guy is our target. So we'll set that as our target. It's about 50 meters out at this point, and we'll continue to warp in a bit. Cool. So somewhere around here or so. Let's bring this to a halt. That is the wrong direction. Let's bring this to a halt. This is going to take a bit. Yeah, I should have done this a little bit sooner here. No doubt about that. But it's okay. Not actually a big deal here. We're down to 1.4 meters per second, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit on the slow side. We're going to have to orient this correctly when we get this brought in. We're down to 1 meter per second at this point. That's okay. We're going to need to go, I think, down a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about it right now. Let's just bring this down to a halt, adjusting our overall velocity just a smidgen here and there. That's a little too much. Okay, this is functionally at a halt. So, Bill, you can EVA, and you are, of course, going to remove these stabilizers. So we'll put one here. We'll put one as soon as we grab it. There we go. We'll put it here, and then our third one will go in the cockpit as well. So that'll be absolutely fine. We'll swap back over to the shuttle here. And at this point, I want to fold this guy out. So we'll set this target angle to be 90 degrees. Right about there. And we'll extend out our telescoping hydraulic cylinder as well. These, are motorized, right? They aren't! Okay. Oh boy. That's going to be exciting. These are not motorized. I thought we had fixed this. Okay. So, to that end, we're going to need to do something about this. So, first things first, let's hop over to Bill here. And we need to drop a strut from... Where are we? Okay. We need to drop a strut from here, if we can. We're just a little too far away, I think. From here... out over here. Okay, that should hold that in position. Now, this one is not in position as of right now. So what do we want to do about that? Well, first things first, we want to try to get it in position. So to that end, let's turn RCS off and think about what we would have to do to get that into position. We can get a little bit of swaying here, right? We're going to need to turn this thing until such a time as this is ready to go. So something like this. Okay. Hopping over here and going into Kerbal construction mode. Yeah, this is not exactly where I want it to be. Okay. Indeed. This should have been motorized. I should have realized that, but I did not. I would say I blame the fever, but to be honest, I probably wouldn't have remembered this either way. So for the moment, we need to just turn this like so, and then apply forces in the opposite direction to get it to move. Okay. How are we doing here? It's so difficult to get over there. Okay. This is not exactly where I want it to go. At this point, it's probably easiest if we take this strut and we position it like over here, right? So we position this strut here and we try to push this with our Kerbal. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. So let's turn our RCS on and come on back, Bill. There you go. Okay. We're going to push this over and then try to strut it into place. That's the idea here. Because we need this to hold in position, and that hinge being unmotorized is actually a problem. Okay, so somewhere around here or so. And then we're just pushing it over until it's as over as it'll go. About there. Then we can strut this from about here over to here. That's the idea. Okay, now that should hold its position. That should be dealt with. Excellent. Welding animation, but that's fine. We've got that all under control, I think. I think that that's no longer capable of moving. That would be the dream anyway. So let's hop down over to this ladder and get reacquainted with the shuttle here. Absolutely, that will be necessary. Grab? Okay, he did not grab. Come on, Bill. RCS on, please. I don't know why he turned his RCS off there. But okay, we're just going to hop up over here and grab on. There you go, buddy. Excellent. So now we'll climb on up here. And from here, we need to run a strut that is something like from here to somewhere up over here. That'll do. I just want to hold that relatively steady. Okay, next we're going to climb up and board. Cool. Now we can control from here, and we can point at our target. Obviously, we're going to need a little bit of positioning work here. And we're going to need to roll this so that these are roughly in line here. So they're actually pretty close right now. So that's decent. We do need to go from this perspective down a little bit. And what way is down? That is right. So right is down. Gotcha. We're going to head on down here a bit, and we should head probably towards the target a little bit as well. So something along the lines of that. I'm just going to position us about here. Yeah, somewhere around here. This looks decent. And we're just going to slowly drift into position. We've got our vector composed reasonably right now, I think. And we just need to go a bit more right, to be honest. I'm just going to toss in a little bit more speed there. To about here or so. So we'll just gently drift downwards from our current perspective, but it's actually over to the left, I think. It's complicated. It's complicated. So we'll just get a little further down here. We're nearly in plane at this point. And as far as this goes, we're going to have to go, I think, a bit forward. But that's okay. We're just trying to line this up in our vertical plane for right now. That is the only goal at this moment. And we're nearly there. Very close now. We're not quite where we want to be, though. We can see that this is kind of drifting around, which is expected. That is absolutely what I expect to have happen here. So that's okay. We do need to move a bit forward, but for now, the only vector I'm interested in is this right vector. So we're just going to get this approximately lined up, and we're pretty close now. Let's bring this to a halt. Okay, so something about like that. And we can see we're heading away from the target right now, which is relatively fine. We're just going to start heading towards target here. Eventually. There we go. Now we're going to need to go a little bit forward. What direction is forward? Looks like that's up. Okay. So let's work on getting into position in this plane. We're still heading towards target a little bit here, but we need to get roughly lined up in this forward vector. So that is our current goal. All is looking okay for now, and these haven't been moving around, so that's a good sign. We're pretty close to being in the forward vector there. So we're going to start bringing that to a bit of a halt. But I don't think we need to bring it quite to a halt yet. Of course, this is going to change our directionality on us because we are turning, but that is understood. Okay. Somewhere approximately here. So at this point, I want to head in towards target. We're going to have to make sure that our roll is okay here. So let's check on our roll here. We're not in exactly the correct plane here. Actually, looks like we need to go a little bit more forward here. So we can do that. Roll is pretty close, but I don't think it's exactly correct. Yeah, a little bit more forward is definitely needed here. This is pretty close now. So let's bring that back and just head towards target. Checking in on that roll, we are certainly going to need to roll this. I'm turning RCS off for that. That's going to be... Ooh, hang on. It's going to be... What direction? This way. Gotcha. Okay. Somewhere around here or so. I think I overshot that a little bit. Pretty sure I did overshoot that slightly. Let's bring it back a little. And of course, RCS is going to need to be adjusted here. How are we doing on this angle? Needs to be this way ever so slightly. I think about here. It's hard to see with that S6 truss there. No doubt about it. This is pretty close. I don't think it's exact. Okay, somewhere around there or so. Let's bring this in and we'll see what it looks like. We can always redock this if we don't like it. We're definitely seeing some swaying here. Please stop that. Okay. We pushed it. Okay. So that means that we're a little bit off on our vectoring here. We do have docking forces here, though. We need to go slightly forward. Hang on. Which way is forward? This way is forward. Docking forces should pull this around. Okay. This is definitely trying to sway around if we point at target, but we can do something kind of like this. Ooh, that sways so much. Okay, Bill, I need you to EVA. We got to do something about this. So we are going to use Kerbal construction mode here, and I'm going to run a strut from here, because clearly this strut is not good enough. Let's run a strut from here to here, and then hop back in. Okay, now we can point at target. I want to head towards target. Our angle is pretty off here. I have no idea what vector we're going in right now. So we need to position it over here. Okay, noted. Okay, somewhere about there or so. Cool. Let's bring this in. We're going to need to go a little forward. No doubt about it. We're a little off on our angling. But this is way more stable. No doubt about that. Still more forward, actually. Docking forces are being a bit of a problem here. But there we go. We're getting that lined up nicely. I don't think our roll changed too much, so let's see how that is. That is now docked. I think that's pretty good on the roll, to be honest. So that's okay. We'll have Bill EVA here. And at this point, we want to remove these struts. So I want to take this strut out. I'd like to connect a strut like up here, right? But we're a little out of range for that. So let's just put this in the cockpit for the moment. We're going to need to let go here and do a spacewalk. So RCS on as soon as you're ready here, Bill. Let go. RCS on. There you go. Fantastic. Apparently Bill is not feeling up to this spacewalk. Maybe he also has the flu and 101 degree fever. It's hard to say. So we're going to position up over here, and I'm going to grab this strut. And we want to strut from here over to here. As soon as this gets caught up. There we go. Okay, Bill. Not really the time for a welding animation. I mean, it rarely is time for a welding animation, though. Let's grab another strut, and we're going to just position that here and connect it up here. And that's, honestly, this shuttle mission complete. We don't need anything else from this. So we'll have Bill hop back into the shuttle, and we'll bring this on home. Bill? Bill. You aren't turning, Bill. There you go. He was on stability assist. That's my own fault. Okay, so we'll just bring this down, and we're going to hop in. Excellent. Next, we are going to undock from here. There we go. And we're going to go to Kilrot, RCS, and we want to get a little bit of distance from the station here. We should also unextend this telescoping hydraulic cylinder. There we go. And stow that away. Cool. Let's make sure that we are getting some distance from the station here. We're also going a little forward. I don't want... Hang on. Get out of here, map. I don't want to be going forward at this moment. We don't want to clip this with our chin. Just move straight on down. There you go. Excellent. So from here, we can allow that to get a little bit of space, swap over to the station, and extend these solar panels. This one is potentially going to impact the tail, but I don't think it is. So we can extend... That's the retract. I want this guy. Extend this solar panel, and extend this solar panel. There we go. That'll do the trick. Perfect. So now we are ready to bring these guys home. Let's hop over to orbital retrograde. That is the S6 truss ready to go there. What direction is orbital retrograde, though? That's a question we need to ask. The answer is basically towards the station. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit problematic. No doubt about that. Let's move backwards a little bit here. There we go. And let's continue to go in the up vector, just to get ourselves clear of the station. We don't want to impact the station as we leave, obviously. That would be bad. So let's get ourselves a little bit of space here, and we can warp. And as soon as we are relatively clear here, which this is pretty clear at this point, we can make our way on out. So let's hop over to retrograde. That's a little closer to the station, but we should be clear here. This should not impact. So we're lighting up our engines here and bringing this right on down. Of course, our engines are not particularly powerful, thrust limited down to 10%, but that is to be expected. It does look like this is pretty straight, especially compared to this one, which I don't think is really very straight at all. Okay, well, that's fine. We can always adjust that later if we so desire. Let's get out of here and let's bring this shuttle right on home. After this, of course, we're going to be doing our Kibo exposed section, and that's going to be kind of interesting to build. We'll see how that ends up going, but for now, we don't need to be too concerned about that one. Let's just bring this on down. I do not want to physics warp while we are in vicinity of the station. That can potentially cause issues, and so we're not going to do that. We are about 1 kilometer away from the station now. Cool. We do know that it's about the same time that the station unloads that our periapsis is about the right position. So that's pretty convenient, actually. We have a little bit over 1 kilometer, or actually under 1 kilometer to go here. 2 kilometers away from the station as of now, so about half a kilometer. Station is unloading as of now. Phenomenal. And our periapsis height is pretty close. There we go. That'll do. I did not intend to hit space there. Okay, let's check on these radial mount drogue chutes. Okay, they are currently armed. We don't want them armed. I'm going to disarm them and move them up here. I don't know if that's going to work or not. We've had this happen before. Let's see. Deploy shoot, deploy shoot. Yep, that'll be fine. I did not intend to hit that button, but luckily we're able to handle that. So no issue whatsoever there. At this periapsis, we are, of course, going to bring this down to, honestly, about a 10-kilometer orbit. It's probably a little lower than that we could go, but yeah, we could do something like this and see how that feels. So let's lock to the node. That is, of course, going to be a more aggressive descent than we've had in the past. We'll see how that feels. I would like for this to be... Oh, wow, that's pretty much going to be a water landing, I think. Well, actually, we're going to orbit underneath. It'll be up over here. That could be a land landing. That absolutely could be a land landing. Let's warp on forward to our braking burn. And, of course, this will be about a 48-second burn. We've got about 3 minutes to go here. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Excellent. And now, of course, 1 more minute for good measure. So about 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. And down we come. It's going to be about 300 meters per second. It feels a little bit more. I mean, that would make sense. We're angling for a steeper descent, right? So that does actually make sense that this would be a little bit more delta V here. Absolutely. So that's fine. We are in atmosphere as of right now and losing quite a lot of our speed, which is great. This is probably going to be on the night side, I think. But we'll see where it ends up being. Our trajectory here is going to end up being fairly ballistic, of course, but we'll glide a bit, and we'll see where that ends up being. 70 meters per second to go in this burn. 40 more meters per second. We're now on an impact trajectory, and this'll do. We overshot that a little bit, but let's head on over to horizontal velocity up, and let's get into position to glide. Cool. So something about here or so. We should definitely remember to vent our remaining fuel. We do not need it, and it will mess up our aerodynamics. There we go. Let's bring this on down. We can physics warp forward. This feels like absolutely nothing is happening right now. Okay, so let's see what we're going to be looking at for our landing here. This does look like it's likely a land landing. Looks very likely to be a land landing. The last one was a land landing as well, so that should be reasonably fine. Not too concerned about that, but this will definitely be a more energetic landing. We'll see if that's good or bad. I'm not convinced either way at this time. So we're just going to continue to glide through here, losing altitude and losing speed as well. We can see our surface speed is still going up, but we're still quite high in this atmosphere. at about 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers now. Cool. So our horizontal speed is actually increasing at this moment, but now it's going down. Excellent. And our vertical speed is going up. So that all looks fine. This is a pretty decent angle here, I think. Like, I like how the water is, like, going inland here. That's pretty neat. But of course, we're going to be landing, like, in these mountains, aren't we? That would be mildly problematic. I would prefer not to land in mountains, to be honest. And we're going to have to be a bit careful about our parachutes. I'm not sure what the actual status of those is going to end up being with the staging. We're still cruising pretty good here. But we're definitely slowing down a lot. I don't really want to land in these mountains. Can we glide over them? Possibly, but I kind of doubt it. I think we're going to have to try to turn. So we can dive down a little bit here. I want to be on Kilrot. And we can attempt to turn out over this direction a bit. So that would end up in doing something kind of like this. We'll have to be pretty cautious about it. Ooh. Okay. Yep. That's kind of okay. Holding attitude here. We can see our landing point here. So now I'm diving back down, and we're going to work on executing another turn. I'd like to land more over here. Okay. So we're diving down. Keeping an eye on our landing position here. I want to be up over here. So we're gathering a little bit of speed right now, and then we're going to transfer that speed into a change of direction here. That's the idea. I'm also going to toggle our gear action group and our brakes action group and work on, ooh, this really wants to roll. I'm not telling it to roll at all here. I'm trying to pull up. Okay. That worked reasonably okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we're just going to position about here, and we're going to need to start diving down a little bit. And then we're going to pull up fairly soon. Our speed is quite low. That is understood, but we're diving down, and we're looking to land right over here. Not in the mountains, ideally. What is our current altitude? Okay, we're quite low. Noted. Nosing up. Or trying to, anyway. Okay. This seems quasi-fine. We're a bit high right now still. The land is dropping away from us, so that's noted. And there's a lot of trees over here. Luckily, the trees don't have colliders, so we should be fine on that front. I'm going to deploy our chutes to try to ditch some of this horizontal speed. And we're going to continue to attempt to nose up ever so slightly here. We're definitely coming in a downhill vector, which is going to be mildly awkward. Okay, we lost a wing there. Oh, this is going badly. We're falling. Ooh, actually, hang on. We're just sliding here. Something just blew up there. It was that engine. But overall, I mean, any landing you can walk away from, right? That's what we've said previously. This was a very awkward place to land. No doubt about it. It's very mountainous, and we definitely didn't want to land here. But we're okay. We are fine. We can recover this vessel and get most of it back. We're going to be missing a wing. We're going to be missing an engine. That's not too bad, though. All things considered, we'll take it. Especially when you consider that I'm rocking 101 degree fever right now. I'll absolutely take that. No doubt about that one. So let's just get this payment and we'll call that good on this episode, to be honest. So that'll be fine. We bring this back and we can start working on that exposed facility next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. Let's get loaded in here. And anytime you want to load KSP, that would be great. Okay, so 26,000, that's not a lot, but that's okay. We're going to grab our payment for that, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.